earlier in the call, we had somebody ask about carnivore diet and ketosis and CGMs, and they made reference to the fact that I mostly eat a carnivore diet. That is correct. I generally eat a carnivore diet. I didn't go to a carnivore diet though until I'd been low oxalate for a decade. So I really didn't have any oxalate dumping in response to going to a carnivore diet. And for myself, it's been so helpful to eat this way. I've been able to lose weight and sort of maintain that weight loss. I haven't checked very much to see if I'm in ketosis anymore. So when it comes to a carnivore diet, do you have to be in ketosis? I'm not sure that you do. There's pretty good research that indicates that over time, your body adapts to using those ketones. So you don't have as many ketones on testing, but that kind of makes sense because your body's using it as fuel. So when you're first developing ketones and you're newly in ketosis, more of that'll be in circulation in the body because the body's not used to using it as a fuel yet. But once your body gets used to using it as a fuel, you don't tend to be in deep ketosis, even if you're eating a carnivore diet. And I have not made use of a CGM, but I'm actually very interested. What I'd say about CGMs is that they are an entire education all by themselves. You put that CGM on and you will learn which foods affect you and how they affect your blood sugar. So this may not deal with other things like histamine and things like that. But if you've got a continuous glucose monitor on the back of one of your arms or on your abdomen or whatever, what you're getting is this continuous stream of data about how foods are affecting you. And it's very interesting to see how some people tolerate certain things and the blood sugar remains nice and stable. And another person eating the exact same thing can have a big blip and then a rebound hypoglycemia event. So CGMs can be really helpful in the sense that you are really going to understand more about what your body's doing. And you can also look at blood sugar over time. So some people will have problems in the night sleeping because their blood sugar is becoming unstable overnight. And if you've got a CGM on, you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to understand that. So it can really help with, I'll say, getting data that can help to put a context around a symptom. Sometimes we have these symptoms and we don't have a good context. And things like getting tired after a meal can be a hypoglycemia event because your blood sugar went too high and then it went too low. Or it can be a histamine event, in which case your blood sugar may show nothing. So I do like CGMs if people are willing to invest in one and then track things. The challenge is really then using the data and being able to understand what the data is telling you. So we've got somebody who's got a CGM and says, I have all this data and don't know what to do with it. I have looked at people's CGM data before, and it can be really helpful in debugging some of the crazy things that may be happening. But you really need to have the food data that goes along with it. I will say that. So tracking what's happening in your meals so that you can see, oh, it went up, it went down, it stayed stable, so that you understand something about what the conditions were around it. And we also need to know about stress because stress alone can drive your blood sugar up independent of anything, just all by itself. And how well you sleep makes a huge difference too. If you're not sleeping well, your blood sugar can be all over the place and have nothing to do with what you're eating. So while the CGM data is really helpful, you need the context around it as well to use it to debug things. I would like to do it because I have had some level of blood sugar dysregulation, I suspect, for most of my life. And apparently that can set you up for essentially having an over response even to protein sources. So there's lots we can learn from something like CGM, but doesn't give us necessarily a ton of data that we can use for the oxalate journey unless we start to see that the stress of oxalate is independently able to drive your blood sugar up. I have not seen that yet in CGM data, but I haven't worked with enough CGM data to really comment either.